Dave here, how are you? I'm having a small microphone malfunction. G'day Ian, how are you there? I've been reading everyone's comments as we've been going through. I thought I had a couple of minutes to go and I ducked up and made myself a cup of coffee. But I was relying on the, don't you break. I'm still trying to get this rotten microphone on. I was still working on, sorry, bit rattled. I was working on the camera that's in the workshop here, and it's a battery model. And there we go. I think I'm good. Tuck myself in, look a bit respectable. Dave here, how are you? Today is what is today? It is the 23rd of August, 2020. And today on the show, everything's good, excellent. Today on the show, we're going to do a wood cart. Now, it's one of those projects that I've had in the back of my mind for years, and I have nice racking for my timber to go into for the longer stuff. That's fine. And I've got the Dexian racking out there, which I love. I'll show you a quick pic of what I'm talking about. So that's what I've got out the back, which is fantastic. Now I've got this nice big area down beside the CNC. You see where the ladder is there? This ordinarily is wasted space. So I was thinking I might make a cart that will fit in there. So I want to try and get away from this, which is a pain. A flat surface always attracts stuff to be put on. So if I've got a spare surface, I will, let me come back to here. I'll tend to just put something down. It'll be right for a minute, but it ends up living there. And next thing you know, there's another surface is used and another surface, and it's a magnet for rubbish to collect on. I've got timber up here in my ordinary timber rack, and I've got little short pieces up there, and it absolutely stuffs everything up. So I wanted to make a specialized cart, not to take full sheets of ply. I know there's a lot of carts out there that people have designed. Woodwork for Mere Mortals, they've made a nice cart. And I know Dave Rollins has done the same kind of thing from that plan, but it was a little bit big for what I wanted. I've got all the big stuff sorted, so I wanted to look after the little stuff and the offcuts from when I'm cutting plywood or when I'm cutting melamine. I get these little offcuts and they get leant against a wall or on top of something. Another part against the wall, another. And next thing, it starts coming out and you can't see what's in behind there. So I've come up with this design here. Now, it's a very, very basic thing. It's 450 millimeters wide by 1200 millimeters long and 900 millimeters high. The top section here is going to be for where all of my offcuts from sheet goods will live. And down here, which is the back, it's going to have 4 cubbies that are 300 by 300, which is a foot by a foot on plan. And the height will range from down this end, 300 tall, 2 cubbies at 600 and 1 at 900. They're for all of the timber to go in the end to stand up. So I'll be able to put stuff in there up to around about 1.8 meters tall. I don't want to have stuff where it's, I have to go reaching into the bin to try and find it for the shorter pieces. So I've got something that's 300 or 450 tall. I wouldn't put that in the 900. Obviously, I'll put it down the other end where the tail will stick out. I'll write the dimensions on the end with a marking pen, Sharpie, text or whatever you want to call it. So at a glance, and what species it is. So I've got some Purple Heart there, which I absolutely love. I haven't used it yet because I want to save it for that special time. So that's why, if it's all there, I know what I've got. You know, some timber I've bought and I've forgotten I've got it, or I've got it from somewhere else. Anyway, so it's a very, very simple thing. How I started off planning was I drew a plan and an elevation, or sorry, a couple of elevations like this, just to get a rough idea. Now, as I'm going through this process and I work out what I want from the different angles and looking down, then I create this 3D drawing. And you can see I've used the eraser on the end of this pencil many, many times as I've been going through it. Once I've done all that, we're getting up to the stage we're going to do on the show today. I create this. Now, this is a cutting list of the items I want. Now, I'll be able to get all of this out of 2 sheets of 8 foot by 4 foot ply. Now I'm using budget plywood. I think the Big Green Store and also Trademaster is where I get all my plywood from, down at Clyde, that area down that way, Granville. So I didn't have 2 full sheets. So what I'm doing is I have 1 full sheet and I've got some offcuts leaning against the wall down there. So that's what I'm going to make it of. And I don't have enough for the base, so I'm going to use a chunk of particle board left over from a kitchen bench top that I had lying around as well. I'm trying to use up stuff that's sitting around. The texts are of the page and cover. Vic, okay. Junk expands to fill the space available, Russell. Indeed it does. All right, coffee. Yeah, I was up there, I had the kettle on, I was thinking, oh, I've got 5 minutes, wait for it to boil. Yep, the clock up there said it's 2 minutes past 11. Well, obviously it was telling me a fib as well. And I panicked, I thought, oh my goodness, I'd get down there quick. Now, Ian Carey has just had a hip replacement, and it's amazing. He was up, out of bed the next morning, and they made him exercise and do all that stuff. He had it at the beginning of the week, and he's home already from the hospital. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. WB Fine Woodworking. Good evening, Dave. I had an early dinner, so I was able to make your live show. Well, thank you very much for joining me. What else? So on the show, we're going to do that. Ben and Ashley Thompson have sent in some stuff that Ben's showing me, a bowl that he sent in. Ashley has made this really, really nice stand for her to do cross-stitching on. This is great. I love to see women getting into this stuff. And Philip Mohr has sent in a project, and also I've got some pictures here from Sean Walderman, who sent those in to me this morning, and I was really pushing to get them into the show, but I did it. I think that's fantastic. He's used the inspiration from my drill press cart and my lathe cart, and you know, it's looking great. All right, I'll show you those as we're going on. The first thing I've got to do is go over there. I'm going to switch the cameras. We're going to dock off. We're going to dress the edge of a sheet of plywood. I never like using the factory edge because the sheet may have been damaged by a forklift when it's been picked up and moved around. The edge is always a little bit rough. I like to put a nice clean edge with the track saw. And one of the other things I want you to know is if you look in the description box down below, you'll see we've got a competition again. It's been a while since we've done a giveaway. I got in touch with George from iMuffs and said to him, hey George, how about we do that? I said, what about the G6? And he said, look, we're a bit low on stock on the G6, but how about we do the standard iMuffs with a spare lens? So anywhere in the world, George will send one out to you if you comply with what I've asked you to do in the raffle copter competition. And at the end of the week, I think it's Friday or Saturday, we'll turn it off. I'll pick a winner and we'll announce it next week on the show. So these things are great. You see me using them all the time. George isn't paying me to do this. He sent me a couple of pairs and I use them heaps. And for everyone else that's got them, you know how they are. Don't try and just reef them open because you'll break the lens. Put them on your head, push it up like that, over you go, and back. See? Easy. Easy. They don't break. They can come in tinted glass, not tinted lens and everything. That's enough of the wrap for them. You love your iMuffs, do you, Steffi? Stephanie, I should say. You love yours as well. All right, I've got to switch the cameras. Enough talking. People complain that I talk too much. Camera 3, which is there, and we'll do a fade transition. How's that? You like that? Go over there and we will dress this off. I've got everything set up. I'm hoping I've got everything set up correctly this time. You may want to turn the sound down just a touch. All right, I'm going to take off around 6 millimeters off the side of this. The reason being, I like to keep the blade inside the cut. If I was to just shave the outside off, dust would go everywhere here, and I'm not into that. I don't want to do that. So we've got the dust extractor working. Yep, Bluetooth. I've got some spare batteries there just in case. Itchy eye, in case we run out. Here we go. handy saw, isn't it? There we go. What do you think of that? Ha, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, now I'm going to switch it around and go to 1200. Pop this out of the way for the moment, just on the floor. And I'm going to put the parallel guides on as well, because I want it to be 1200 wide. Now you might see on the pieces down here, I don't know if you can see them down here. Maybe if I tip it down a little bit, you can see what's going on. I put tape on here with the size that I'm after, and I put the number. So this is piece number 1 off my list, and it's going to be 1200 by 900. So it's going to be 1200 wide this way. And you see I've got an arrow pointing this way. This is just so, as I'm getting older, I don't forget where I'm at. And also, as I'm laying it all out on the sheet, rather than writing which parts they are and sizes, everything on the sheet, if I change my mind and go, look, this isn't working as well as I wanted to on the sheet, I can peel this off and put it somewhere else. And I've done that a few times. All right, we want 1200, so I need to have it hanging out this side a little bit. And I'll get the parallel guides. This is the, which one is this? This is my left hand. So this one goes down there, like so. And this is my right hand. And he goes in here. And I think I've got the little connectors. There they all are. Come back over here. All right. I never used to use these things. Don't ask me why. I thought, you know, I'm good enough just measuring and working off that. And it was okay. But now that I'm using these, the accuracy is fantastic. Take this back to 1200 on the cursor. Got it. Down the other end. I'll raise this up again a little bit so you can see what's happening. Actually, I might switch cameras now, back to the front one, because we're close enough. How's that? You can see me here. All right. Setup takes a little while, but once you've got it set up, it just goes like a rocket. Back to 1200. Cool. Down and down. Track saw. Bring this over a little bit closer. Up on top. Bring it back so the bumpers are touching. Good. Good. Along a little. Lovely. Okay, this is where the magic happens. See any dust? Any dust? There we go. Love it. All right, so that's 1200 wide. And this back on here. So now that's all parallel. And this is the right hand. I'm going to put it on the PE. I'll show you a little trick in a second. I hope everyone's had a good week. And it's been rotten cold here. Really, really cold. This is my left. I'll put that back in. All right. What do you think of that? Normally I just put this thing down. This is all part of this build of this unit that I made. which I will do a video on. So you guys get to see it earlier. All right, get this one up. It's the 1400. And because I've got a nice parallel edge here now, I can now go along and cut off my pieces. And this is really quick. So I'm going to cut across the end first from the other side, and then I'm going to work from this side coming along. Now my first piece, I think, let's put this on here as well. Actually, I'll do that over there so you can see. Might be nice. And once we've cut this first sheet up, then we'll have a look at some viewers' projects. Spin it around. And this one. Pop that on here. A couple of these little guys. So easy. Got it. Cool. And the length of this one, remember I've got to look at this. So it's 1200 by 900 is my first piece, number one. And that's what this one is, 1200. So I need to come back 900 millimeters along here. Correct? Because we're already 1200 that direction. So I'll bring it back to 9. And the next one is 933. So the first one is 9. Turn that over the right way. Spin this around from the other side. I'm not using the bumper at the moment. I'm just cutting the end off to get it square. This just sits on top. It doesn't drop down. So I do a little bit of this called flicky flicky. Grab the saw. Okay, that's my square end. Come around to your side. And now move this down here. Should be okay. Give me a second. There. Quick read. Who makes the guides? TSO. There's links in the description box down the bottom. Like the description below. Yes, thank you. Ian can still talk, you know, it's only his hip got worked on. Indeed. Okay, let's have a look at that camera from here. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'll lift it up a touch. Maybe. Let's see what we've got. There we go. So I'm going to drop the bumper at the end, bring her along. I think that's all good. Yep. 900. Do my cut. Now this is going to be a fair reach. I may not be able to reach all the way over because this is 1200 wide. I'm going to drop it down a touch. I'm not cutting into my bench underneath. I've got a hollow core door underneath, which is a sacrificial piece. There we go. It was catching. Cool. That looks better. That would have been a mistake, wouldn't it? Yeah, look at this great system. It works beautifully when you've got your wits about you. come around the other side to finish it. Got it. Sorry, just missed it at the end. That's got it. All right, the next one, 933. As I say, the beginning part here is just a little bit slow as you do the setup, but then once you've got it going, let's check this for diagonals. This is magic. Okay, 900 on the money. 900 on the money. Diagonal, what do we got? This one is 1500 neat. If you want to check 900 by 1200, 1500, that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. 1500 neat. There you go. I never realized that when I was setting this up. Okay, this is one panel finished. Take it over here. Next panel, this is where you'll see the thing kick up in speed. The next one has got to be 933. 932. 933. Done. And notice I'm not picking up full sheets to try and put them over the table saw. This is just one lift up onto here, and then everything else is just nice and easy. Cool. I'm going to slide this along just a little bit, so I've got a little bit more track on the other side holding. That's all good. Beautiful. Okay, it's 2 pieces cut perfectly. What's next? 1200 by 333. Right. 333. Done. It'd probably be easier if I had the saw on the other side, or sorry, the dust extractor over there. But for the moment, we'll just stay with it there for the moment. I don't know if you have used this budget ply, but the front veneer is extremely thin and it chips, even sanding it. I don't dare sand it, it's that thin. Okay, so there we have our third piece out of 10 for the whole job. How good. It's so easy. So easy. And the last one out of this sheet, and I did say that when we get to this stage, I would have a look at the viewers' projects, which we will. The last one is 270 by 900. So we'll go 270, which is there. Now there are shorter parallel guides as well. And I have them here, but I haven't switched them over. I might do that. 270. I don't think I've got enough there. That was a bit of a blue, David. 333, 270. That's all right. That's all right. We'll leave that one to the side. Can't have a show without a stuff up, can we? Let's have a look at the at the viewers projects in the meantime. All right, I'm going to have a quick read. The track at the right dimensions, or it's better to do the final right dimensions. Perfect. This thing's fantastic. Wayne, Dr. Greg didn't know Peter Long. Wayne, that's no good. You need longer arms, Dave. Indeed, I do. How many layers does it have? This is absolute rubbish plywood. It's got voids and everything all the way through it. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine layers, but then the veneers are only a couple of thou thick on the outside. You can see where that's how thick it is. It's just, it wears through, it tears out all over the place. Golden Dog Woodworks. Wow. All right. That's a shame. That's all right. We'll cut the rest of it up and I'll get another bit during the week if I need to. All right. Now what we're going to do is have a look at Ben and Ashley Thompson. Let's have a look there first. So Ben has made a really, really, really nice bowl. So this is Ben's. We'll put that up while I'm talking. Thank you so much for that brief mention during today's show. That's last week he's talking about. As suggested, here are a couple of pics and a video, if usable, of our backyard beginner stuff. We both began, so this is Ashley and Ben, both began our woodworking a little over 2 years ago after dropping into a local woodcrafts club's annual open day, hooked ever since. This is Ben's proudest moment, his turned item. About 16 months into my wood turning, after first making my own swan-necked hollowing tool from scratch, learning how to use it from the University of YouTube, I tackled a gifted blank of camphor laurel in our shed on my Carvertech lathe with no instructions on how to blindly hollow. I managed a piece that won at 2 local shows. How cool is that? Now the next one is Ashley's latest. Now this is a little video. Are you ready? Here we go.
So I've been busy making this stand in the shed the last couple of days. It's got magnets at the top here for scissors and needles. Rotates something to the backing. Back over. Adjustable arms for 2 of them. I've got spinning from a Lazy Susan.
From a Lazy Ashley.
I've also got a tub on the front here. It's going to be velcroed. That'll have my patterns, my strings, glasses and pens I'm using. It's also got locking wheels at the bottom. Big difference than just what I had on my knee before.
Happy though?
I'm very happy. Very happy.
How cool is that? That's fantastic. I should have read this part out first before I put Ashley's video up. I think that her best project, her embroidery cross-stitch stand, designed by herself, completed by herself, including using tools such as the router table for the first time. I love it. Aided only with the clamp to hold the stitching frame and installation of a Lazy Susan. Tassie oak and BLO finish. What do you think of that? That's so good. All right. Okay, I'm going to cut the next sheet. It's nearly half past. And so we've got 3 parts out of that main panel done. I have to shorten the length of that one. So we'll grab this other one down now. Pop that there without knocking the keyboard over. We'll go with this one second. I'll do the other one first, it's easier. Now I've already ripped these to width. I think I've got a straight edge on one. 1200 by 450 by 450, 595, 595. That one's ripped. I've got to cut this one to width. So this is going to be 450. Get this one out again. I'll spin that around, make life a bit easier for myself. Switch the cameras. Yes, indeed I could. Indeed I could. A jib arm for the camera. I don't know if I'd want that. That'll mean I'd have to get a bit serious about what I'm doing, Wade. 450. Let's use the shorter guide there. No, we'll stick with the long ones for the moment. Put them back on. And this one is the right hand. So it's a funny system. What the right hand means, if I was setting it up from that side. The guys at TSA didn't really know what to do as far as that. They could go near and far, or spin it around the other way, David. Right hand. It is on my right hand. Look at that. Yeah, near and far, left and right. It all depends on what side you're working on for putting the things together. There was a question if I had a choice of track saw at 450 or table saw. Both. They're that kind of thing that you really do need to have both if you're doing this kind of stuff. This is slightly shorter. That'll be fine. Get the other knobs. Someone did make comment that if you're doing small stuff, it's going to be a pain to use a track saw. It's just the nature of the beast. You got to be able to hold onto the timber. So anything less than, say, 200 millimeters wide, I always use the table saw. Let's see, go to 450 again. 450. But for bigger stuff like this, always the track saw. Now this is a situation where I'm very happy that I've got these on tape, because I'm going to cut the waist side off. I'm going to put this over here where I can actually see it. No, back this way a little bit. So I still know where I'm at, because this part's going to, well, I would have cut right through the middle of that tape. 450 wide. 450, I'm going to go against what I had here, 12. I think I'll be right. Bring that back. That's good. There's 450. This is slightly shorter than a full sheet, I think. Put the eye muffs back on. $450, doing a final check. Measure twice, cut once, I guess. Going to do a quick check on that battery. That one's fine. I think the top one might need changing over. So that's good with that. Undo those again. Yep. Ideally what I should have done was use the long rail on all of the pieces I meant to cut down to parallel, and then that would have allowed me to get that part sorted and done and out of the way. But, yeah. There we go, how cool is that? That's an offcut that will go up in a rack. It's a little bit long for the rack that I'm making. And this one here again. The track saw can be used on the floor with structural board or insulation foam. Very versatile. It can indeed, Dave. I like to use it up on the top here because it gives me just that little bit more comfort while I'm doing things. This is the right hand. This is a medium. This is the medium one. I'll pop that on here. I don't think I need anything super long. Oh, now that I've said that, I need a 1200. What an idiot. 1200 right hand. This is it. Go on there. And a couple of those little connectors again. You can imagine if I'm doing a run of these, of this kind of cut, I just set up and away I'd go. 1200. Right on it. So we'll cut this end square to start. I'm off. Don't forget, link in the description box down the bottom for the competition to win these guys. There we go. As I say, I think the battery's getting pretty low on this, so I may change it in a second. And go to the other side. At 1200. I can't smell any dust, which is great. Over the other side. So. Fourth piece. And this last one is how long? 483, because we've already got 450 wide. Switch this down to 483. Four, 8, 3. Touching, 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 all good. It's awkward when it comes around from behind there. That's how it's got to be. Beautiful. Cool. That's 6 of the 10 cut. We might do the base. Put that to the side. Now this is a prime candidate for what we're making. This will be able to slide in that way or that way, depending on how high it is, the backs, the cubbies that I make for it. Otherwise, it would get leant against something like that, and I'd probably walk away from it and leave it there. And then another thing would be leant against it, and then, I'm not telling you anything, am I? Let's go back to the camera here. All right, quick read. You'd have to take lunch with you, you're going to cut on the floor. There's never dust over in there. And if there is, it's only because you forgot the extraction. Yep, yeah, it's a great system. I'm not using any dust mask. Vicky came down yesterday and she was sanding an old wooden box that Arthur had made. We're painting it, or she's renovating it for one of my daughters, painting it white. I know everyone's going to say, oh my God. Lean and leave, yeah, it's a stinker. Yep. Matthew, how are you? So she was using my little RTS 100 or 400, I think it is, cordless sand with the mesh paper on it, mesh granite, and it's just fantastic on painted surfaces. And she was amazed. It went through really quickly. All right, so see on my list here, we've gone through 6. We're going to do the base now, which is the last one. We're going to do that out of this chunk of particle board. As I say, this is a monster. This is 32 mil thick. And you'll see how easy this thing deals with it. Spin this around. And I did say I was going to have a look at another viewer's thing that they've sent in to me. Pop this up here first. Monster. Absolute monster. 1200 by 420. All right. I'll cut a square end off it first, and then I'm just going to use this to create the parallel, and it does it. Because it's a shorter length, I don't really need to worry about a long section, even though you've seen me do it before with that 2.7. I went right around one board, and the diagonals were perfect. Right, the next one, Philip Mohr. Let's have a look. What do we got? Hi, Dave has requested a couple of pictures of my latest job. I've done this to a friend's van. Let's have a look here. There we go. As was originally set up to accommodate a wheelchair, the floor in the middle had been lowered. This gives it a bit more height in the back, which is great as she is not very tall. I've used birch ply, which holds a lovely edge and is nice visually. The darker wood is a Roco. The second top on the right slides across to make a double bed. You see that? How cool is that? I'll go to the next photo, which is this one. Keep up the good work on the show. Always wake up on a Sunday and watch you over breakfast. Regards, best wishes, Phil. There you go. How nice is that? It's great to be able to do things like that. It really is. And the birch ply is brilliant. Ash, thanks for showing my video. I'm proud of the stand since I've made this one. I've had multiple requests asking if I can make another one as well. So what are you going to do, Ashley? Are you going to start up production in the shed down the back and knock them out and make everyone happy? I think that's a fantastic stand. You've done a great job. And I think it's fantastic that it's only 2 years down the track after you got the bug for doing woodwork that you and the boss have, shouldn't call him the boss, that you and Ben, sorry, maybe you're the boss, that you and Ben have got into it. And also Ben's got a Facebook page as well. I think it's Australian Hobby Woodworking. Have a look at that, check it out. I'm sure Ben will put the link up there. All right, what's the next thing? We need to cut this base. Now, I had a question. What particle board that thick, Dave? Bob, I had it. It's lying around. This is a cart that I'm going to use. I'm making a lot of the stuff out of scrap. The budget plywood that I've got is when I built all of those mobile storage units for Vicky's storage room. I built 3 big units that are 8 feet by 6 feet by 2 feet wide, all on wheels for her to be able to use in there to put all her stuff away. And I bought 2 extra sheets just so that I have enough. And I thought, well, if I don't use them there, because it was only cheap stuff, so I grabbed them and they held their shape reasonably well because I've kept them flat in that big Dexian racking pallet racking that I've got there. So this particle board I had left over from a job, and why not? It's nice and thick. There's going to be a fair bit of weight on it. I'm not going to put any subframe under this thing. It's just wheel around. Carl, I'm going to knock 2 desks together for them this week. Oh, good on you, good on you. Grandsons 4 and 7 are coming Friday for a week. Ash, I've forgiven BG for sending the video, and I'm nice enough to make him lunch, but he can do tea. Yep. All right, I've got to do this last one. Let me see what we got here. I'll set the track saw down a little bit deeper. I'm going to take that top battery out because I think it's just about worn out. I'll put another one in. Put that there, grab this one. And I've got another one there for the Bluetooth just in case it decides to run out of juice. Pop that back in, switch the cameras again. Won't allow me to add a link. Sorry, Dave. Wait till after the show. Put the description in. Put it in the comments at the bottom, and then I will allow it later on after the show's finished. Yes, Stephen, he did do some stuff on children's desks for both his kids. Go to the other camera. Yes. All right, let's cut this. I'll make sure that I've got the length there first before I cut it. That may be 1200 already. No, it's 1220. Now, what length do I need that one? The base has got to be 1200 by 420. So I can come back in a little. And I'm going to set the depth down to 35 millimeters on the saw. That'll do it. Cool. That's sounding a bit more powerful. See that? That is from the factory. That is from David, just then with the track saw. What a difference. What a difference. All right. So we are going to cut square off here. And then once I've got it square, look at that. That was out. Can you see that? That's how much it was out. That's a 1/4 inch down here, and that's a 1/2 inch here. I would have been in trouble deep. That is so good. All right, we'll cut that. Move this around here. Get those long arms out again, hey? Come around. We'll have a look at another viewer's project. I'm enjoying it. You enjoying this? Like, I know so many people who say, what did you do on Sunday? Well, I just wasted time watching Dave cut some plywood up. But you know what? Nothing else to do. I had a bit of fun. All right. And if you pick a tip up at the same time, why not? Why not? It's I'm a little bit OCD, and I tend to procrastinate and try and get things working as nicely and smoothly and as good flow as I can. It's just me. And you might think, well, that's crazy. I have no real interest. Or you might think, well, Dave's done all the thinking. I'll just do what he says. Don't. Use your own brains. But if I can give you some tips along the way, that's great. Okay, that bottom battery's just about had it. That's the Bluetooth battery. I'll take that one out. Yeah, and put the other one in. I'll have to pare it. So what I do is I push down on the dust extractor down here. I'll show you how I do it. It's a bit of fun. Okay, there's the dust extractor. This is the battery that I've got to pair to this, and then the saw will turn it on. So I push down until I get it spinning fast, like that. Then I push this, and I should really have it plugged into the saw and turn the saw on. Oh dear. There you go. Paired. Right, we're going to do the last one. About there. Now this is going to be 420 because it tells me it is. I'll move this back over to here. This is a great system. 420 by 1200. This is going to be the last cut. Oh, this is heavy stuff. Bring the guide back. 420 millimeters. There's my stop. All right. Come around. Now, that should be perfect. Let's have a look. Going to do a diagonal check. Moment of truth. I've got 1272 and 1271. Just a touch up, but that could also be in the end of the tape. Yeah, there it is. I just had the tape in the wrong spot. 1271. Beautiful. Excellent. Well, that's the base all finished. And we'll switch back over to this camera again. So I looked at the earmuff site. Has anyone tried the G6 version? Supposedly less fogging up. So thinking of getting one of the versions. Just which one? Look, the G6s are fine. Vicky's got my pair of G6s over in her workshop at the moment, so I can't get my set out for you. They're more... The guy who invented the eye muffs is George, and he's a floor and wall tiler, or wall and floor tiler. So what he does is it stops dust from when he's grinding tiles, ceramic dust and masonry dust everywhere. It keeps it all out of his eyes. So he works very well with that. He loves it. I prefer these ones in the workshop because I don't have the dust issue. The standard eye muffs are great. That's exactly right. You got the G6s, John? That's so good. I wish I could justify the treasurer. All right. Let me have a look here. I'm going to go to Sean. Not Sean the sheep. This is Sean Walderman. Again, as I said, he sent these pictures into me this morning. I had a look. So you remember that the projects that we've just finished doing, the lathe cart, and also my drill press table and the table I did for the drum sander. These are all mobile, which really helps me out a lot. Paul, everyone's going the G6s. Well, there you go. Go the G6s. I'm not giving a G6 away. I spoke to George, as I said, and he said, we'll just go with these are the standard ones, Dave, because we're low on the G6. All right. Okay, so Sean has sent some pictures in. Let's have a look. This is his drill press table that he built. He used the same draw construction method that I did. I think they're soft close draw slides, draw runners, full extensions, obviously, all melamine, and he's put draw fronts on the top. And I think the whole project is also Baltic birch for the face and the top for the draw fronts. It's so nice. Okay, you reckon the sound and the vision are slightly out of sync. Okay, maybe spend the money for the G6 if I don't win the comp. Good Father's Day present. Is anyone else having problems with the sound and the sync? I'm thinking it should be okay. Maybe it's just in your situation there, David. Go to the next picture. And there's all the drawers shut. And he's used the same style of handle that I used at the top. He's gone all the way down instead of just buying handles. And he's got two of the units side by side before he's put any wax on, I think. Which is great. So the sound's all right for you, is it, Peter? Do me come back to this one here. 11:57. I'm going to finish cutting it up this afternoon. It should be fine. Hold on. Sound and music sync is okay. Good on you, Planty. It does happen sometimes where you'll be working or your own place. I've noticed that with my TV every now and then. It'll go out of sync. I just turn it off and turn it back on. Everything fixes itself up. I don't know why. It just does. Sound good. Okay, so I'm really happy with how the cutting's gone so far, except for I didn't allow enough in the end of that one. For some strange reason, it didn't have enough. When I measured it, I thought it did, but not to worry. After we lost video for 30 seconds. Right, okay, so you lost video for 30 seconds. Sorry. Let me see if I've lost any frames. None. We haven't dropped one frame during the stream, so it's, and I'm punching it out at 8,000 kilobits a second, so that's 8 meg, which is brilliant. That's why it's so clear. You know, remember the days when I first started doing this? It was really poor resolution, maybe 500 pixels across. I had 0.8 of a meg upload speed. If I was lucky, then it dropped to 0.3 of a meg upload. Now I'm at 8 meg. And I can set it faster than that. I've got upload speeds of 19 now. If I need to. I was going to go onto the main plan, you know, the 100 meg a second upload, or sorry, the 100 down and 50 up, or whatever it was, or 100 down, 40 up maybe. And I thought, well, let's just go with the 50 down and the 20 up. And it's been great. I know around the world, people have got much faster speeds, but, you know, I don't need a Ferrari. I'm puttering along in a Holden at the moment. All right. Apart from the brief dropout, all is good there. You had a dropout. Oh, well, there you go. I had no idea. Sorry about that. Jeremy? Sorry about that indeed. Now, what I'm going to do, okay, Brian, use the links down the bottom. If you want to get the G6, use the Carbotech link, which is an affiliation link for me, which I'd let everyone know. It's the same price as buying it directly from George's website. So if you want to help the show out, grab them through the Carbotech link. Otherwise, if you don't want to help the show out, just grab them from George's site, you know, whatever you want to do. Did lose you for about 30 seconds. Syncs was out for a few minutes, but then it buffered and synced back up again. I am amazed. It's been very windy up here. Maybe the wind was interfering and it's very cold outside. Maybe, well, I'm sorry about that. All okie dokie after refresh. What was the next thing? I've spoken about Philip. We went through everything else. Thank you again. Had a drop out there too. Sorry about that, Cole. Next week, what we're going to do is I'll finish cutting this up, and then next week we're going to put it together. And I've got a little trick. And I hope to get that trick done next week. Otherwise, I'll do it the week following. But off to heat up the workshop. Good on you, Stephen. We've had bad weather here at the moment, so it could be the reason. Good show. Okay, as I say, it wasn't very exciting. I just used the track saw system and the parallel guide system from TSO and cut the pieces up. But it's all part of it, you know. It wouldn't be much fun if I just rocked up and said, oh, here's the finished product. You want to see the process, obviously. So I've shown you how I nutted it out, how I lay out the drawings. I don't use software to do that part. I showed you how I cut it out and get it really, really accurate. I haven't touched the table saw. I've done it all with stuff that people might have. If you've got a board and an ordinary circular saw, you can do the same thing, a couple of clamps, push the saw along the edge of it so it acts as a guide. All depends on how much you want to commit to doing this stuff and what kind of results. Let me see what I've got down here. Thanks again to all of my patrons. Don't forget this thing. If you enjoy what I'm doing, click the like and also the subscribe button down there. You know, subscribe to the channel and then you'll get a warning that the show is going to come live. And I think that's about it. We've got this one here. Look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you next week. Bye.